Every school-aged child gets asked this same question a lot. You've asked it yourself. What's that question? Yes, what do you want to be when you grow up, right? I understand the question. But the problem is, the question loses its own answer because think about what we're asking them. We're saying, when you're older, when you grow up, your vocation will literally define your very existence. In other words, whatever you do to make money, that's who you are as a person. But you know, that is hardly ever true. But we carry that forward to adulthood, don't we? We say things in social gatherings like, what do you do? And now, we've learned to ask the question the right way. We've just not learned to answer it the right way. We go back and we say, well, I am a... Something's missing in the question because imagine how amazingly schizophrenic you would really be if your entire existence was designed in what you do to make a living, your vocation. Because if you ever changed your vocation, we're literally saying you must change your entire identity. Now, as a coach with people, I work with a lot of high school students, and I began 3 years ago intentionally asking this question. I rephrase it, and I say, instead of saying to them, what do you want to be when you grow up? I say, who do you want to be when you grow up? Want to get some blank stares from people? Deer in headlights? Imagine this, because their response is, wait, who? What? I thought you were going to ask me. Yes, I know what you thought I was going to ask you. But I'm not going to ask you that. And from this, who do you want to be when you grow up? I begin developing what I think is an amazing process in people's lives that I call the history of your future. And so I found out quickly it didn't work with just high school students. You know, it worked with adults. It worked with any age. And here's the process. I would start them at the age they're at, say 15, 16, 17, whatever it was. And I would say, put yourself 10 years into the future. Now, I intentionally did not say 10 years older because I didn't want them to think of it as a maturity or something of advancement. I just said, put yourself 10 years into the future, and you would do the same. If you're 22, you're 32, 32, you're 42 and on, and whatever it is, your age, put yourself into the year 2025. Now imagine you have actually achieved everything you could possibly imagine achieving. You've done it all. You've hit every milestone. You've become whatever it is you think that you want to do with your life, your vocation, your relationships. And I begin asking them a question because, see, the first thing I define for them is this concept, this idea of what vision is. A vision, if I can use this functional definition, is a highly detailed mental picture of a preferable future. It's three things. It's highly detailed, it's a mental picture, and it's something you want different. I ask people this all the time. So this is the process of the history of your future. You're 10 years into the future, and I begin asking the questions, the highly detailed questions. I would ask the students this. All right, 10 years into the future, it's 2025. Where do you live? What does your house look like? How many rooms does it have? What is the color of your bathroom? Do you have a car? How many cars? What kind of cars? Are you married? Do you have children? What are the names of your children? How much money in exact cents and dollars do you make every year? What do you do with your money? Do you give it away? Do you spend it? Do you travel? And if you give it away, who do you give it to? And how much in exact dollars and cents? You see a highly detailed vision of their future. And I help them through this entire process of actually designing something they never thought that they would design. Because now they're not saying, I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, I'm a medical assistant, I'm a technician, whatever it is. They're saying, I am this person who lives here, who does this, who exacts this way, and acts this way, and decides this way, and is all of these things. This is who I now am. Here's the amazing part. In about 10 minutes after this detailed questioning, I asked them this question. All right, everybody, open your eyes. Now, tell me, I know you've had some amazing dreams and some amazing visions, but how many of you, when you're 25, 26, 27, are going to tell me, well, Rick, this is my vision. You ready? I've taken every drug known to man. I've destroyed every relationship I have. I've lost every job. I've been to jail a few times. In fact, right now at 25, I'm laying in the gutter face up with puke in my mouth. How many of you would think it would be surprising that none of them raised their hands? None of them imagined that that's what they would be or do when they're 10 years into the future. But statistically, we know that some of them will. Some of you will, statistically. Something happens. And this is what I began discovering, that they didn't actually have a vision, a highly detailed mental picture of something different. And the truth is, most of us don't. So I discovered 3 laws, principles, axioms, whatever you want to call it. I call them laws because you know what a law is. A law is a concept that when acted upon is intended to change something. We have speeding laws. It's designed to keep us safe. I've discovered laws of the future. And here's the first law. Given all that you have done to get here, you are exactly where you should be. Everything you've done in your life, your weight, your finances, your health, your relationships, your activities, generally speaking, you've done everything it takes to get here. You've done everything it takes to sit in the chair you're sitting in. You could have sat in another chair, but you sat in that one because you did what it takes to sit in that chair. There is a downside to this law. Everything you are, all that you think, all that you do, your entire identity, it's on you. It's your fault. No, it really is. Because, see, that's the good thing. Because the upside of this law is this: whatever you are now, you can literally be someone else tomorrow. Because if you've done everything it takes to get exactly where you are right now, and you have, then you can do anything else and be anything else. The truth is, all you have to do is do what it takes to get to that point. Here's the second law of the future. The main difference between those who do it and those who don't do it is those who do it, do it. Now, before you scream Captain Obvious at me, bear with me. Almost anyone can do almost anything. Almost anyone could have sold computers out of their dorm room, but Michael Dell did, and at $16.4 billion of personal worth later, he's doing okay. Almost anyone could have found a faster way to serve food to the public, and at 55 years old, Ray Kroc developed the most successful small business model in human history, McDonald's. Almost anyone could have developed a faster way to produce cars, but Henry Ford did. Almost anyone can do almost anything, but here's the downside. It's true. Almost anyone can do almost anything, but almost everyone universally rejects the idea that almost anyone can do almost anything, so almost everybody does very little. Oh, it's true. We mass produce mediocrity. But we mass produce this idea that I can't really do it. One of the reasons is we own self-limiting beliefs. We become the justas. Maybe one of you is a justa. I'm just a housewife. I'm just a woman. I'm just a man. I'm just a high school graduate. I'm just a janitor. I'm just a secretary. How many times have you asked somebody about their employment and they said, well, you know, I'm just a secretary? Justa? Who put that lid on you? Here's the upside to this law. You can do anything. You can do anything you want to do. Really anything. Anything different at all. You can be a different person and do a different person and become literally a different person before I finish talking. Whatever your last error, sin, mistake, grief is then. You don't have to relive it now. You can be entirely different. Do you know how many high school students don't believe that? Do you know how many adults don't believe that? Let's see, high school students. We got everybody in there, didn't we? It's hard. Now, here's the third law. And I discovered this one when I was talking to a friend of mine who makes maps. And he said, I said to him, I'm amazed when I look at the mapping program and I put, the origination, let's say Los Angeles, and then I put the destination as New York City, and that blue line just draws right there. And in fact, it is the fastest way to get there. And he said, well, this is fascinating. When we first started making maps, we would do just that. We'd put the origination in and then the destination, and we found out that the mapping program would find every dead-end street possible and have to start all over. He said it was much like when we were in school and we had these mazes, and you remember Sparky helped Sparky find the acorns, and the smart kids caught on pretty quick. What'd they do? They started from the end, didn't they? There's less dead ends. There's less road. They started from the goal. And I thought, this is the missing piece. And he said to me this, the third law. He said, Rick, we have a saying in map making. You can't get there from here. You can only get here from there. If I said to you, where is your car right now? Could you go to your car? I'm guessing all of us in this room could literally go to the car. But remember, the history of your future, the vision, the highly detailed mental picture of that preferable future, highly detailed, I ask you to go to your car. Here's how you would do it, literally. Stand up from your chair. Turn one way or the other, take X amount of steps down the aisle, take X amount of steps out the back door, X amount of steps to the exit of the building, and onto your car. You would know exactly how to get there. Did you know that scientifically it is proven that the only way you got there is because in your mind, you didn't think about it, in your mind, you actually drew a line from your car back to where you are now. And I'll prove it. Go to my car. How do you go to my car? Where did I park? That one or that one? Or which one? Now, you could start, right? You could stand up. You might even decide to go out one of these doors, but maybe I didn't bring my car. Maybe I was driven by somebody. I took the bus. Maybe I don't own a car. You see, you couldn't take the first step until you know the last step. Here's where we're missing it. And this is why we make so many mistakes. Did you know that 90% of all of our mistakes are committed simply because we didn't plan to do the right thing? Imagine making literally 90% less mistakes in your life by simply planning to do the right thing. Because what ends up happening is we are creatures of familiarity. In fact, we're drawn to it. That's why you make so many That's why you repeat so many mistakes. You're good at them. We have discovered how to make the same mistakes over and over because it's familiar. Not because we didn't learn. Understand the difference. Because it's familiar. Want proof? I've got a test for you. Did you all study? I know. Good. I'm going to show you a picture. It's going to be fast. And when I do, I want you to, when you discover it, just shout out for me what you see here. Ready? A kitty cat. Very good. Who said kitty cat? I like that, kitty cat. Or for you very sophisticated TED people, it's a feline. Yes. All right, next. It gets a little harder here. It's a little harder. Okay, ready? Yes, you know this one as an airplane. Easy stuff, right? The next one's fairly easy as well. That's a... No. No, you blinked. I'll just hold up there a little long. You know this as a... Wait. You don't know what this is. Why not? Say the words. You have never seen it before. You don't know that this is a carpet stretcher from 1920. Now, why did you know the dog and the cat and the airplane? You've seen them, very familiar to you. In fact, I could have flashed them at even a fraction faster, and you would have recognized it. All the neural things are going on in there. All the pathways are lined up. You know this stuff. In fact, you'll probably never forget what they are. Shy of some sort of mental disorder, you'll remember that for the rest of your life. You probably remember this as a carpet stretcher. Did you know we leave our future this way? We get to the future and we don't know that we're there, and we don't recognize it. We don't design a future that's better for us or anyone else. I could hand you a future. Do you know how many people win the lottery and then lose the lottery? What happened? They didn't live as if they won a lottery. They didn't recognize it. It was scary. It was odd. The truth is, the future is scary because we don't know it. But what if you designed it first? What if you designed the perfect relationships? And I don't mean them, I mean you. Every time on Facebook when I see people say things like, don't you wish you could find this person? My response is, why don't you be that person first? Our problem is not that we're full of error. Our problem is it's scary. So in just a minute, I'm going to end this talk, as all talks do, with the words, thank you. But here's what I would like to happen when you hear the word you. I would like you to begin to draw and design and create a future. Start 10 years and dream big. No. Bigger. And create something entirely different. Imagine communities that would do this. Imagine families that would do this. Imagine countries that would do this. Imagine anyone creating an entirely different future right now and then drawing the lines backwards to where you are, because the truth is, all of us, you and you and you and all of us, can literally change the world in the seat you're in, and then go outwards. Who's with me? Ready? Set? Thank you.